Hey everybody, it is Murph from server 943 here. To be honest, guys, I'm going to be talking about Code Boss hits, lineups, best practices. I did post a Code Boss lineup like maybe 2 years ago, but good lord, I rewatched it today, and I was the biggest noob and scrub in the world. I barely knew what I was talking about, so I wanted to get some fresh content out there. I don't really see much about this in the last word YouTube space. I haven't been making videos as often here, but our season 5 just ended. We just three-peated now. We have now won 3 seasons in a row. Obviously, with season 5, there are challenge rewards now. We did get challenge tier 2 rewards. We could have gotten tier 1, but shout out to 8001 and Burakati. That really always are great allies. We've had them the last 2 or 3 seasons now, but we wanted to make sure that they got their elevated rewards, so we gave them the Golden Palace to ensure that they get spoiled like they deserve here. So we got the tier 2. We're very happy with it. But as I was coming across the end of the season here, like we have 4 days left before everything starts disappearing, and I was helping another pal out from another alliance here, 943, with her code hits. And I realized, man, it really is complex now if you really want to maximize your hits and all the things that you need to do. So I want to just kind of run you through what that looks like. Best practices. I know everyone watching this video may not be in season 5, or might just be starting the game, but a lot of these are going to translate throughout whatever season that you have here, right? Today I'm going to be talking about me currently. Keep in mind I am an air main. I do attack all the code bosses with the 3 individual squads. I swap all my gear and do all the correct lineups. I know that if you are a missile main, they kind of get lucky there. Those things are so powerful. They can kind of use those missiles on all 3 different code bosses here. But for today's perspective, I'm going to be kind of talking through if you're an aircraft or a tank main or a missile main, so on and so forth. I'm going to kind of show you my process here. And today is a little bit different because I am, all of us are kind of rotating the presidency and such, and some of these extra buffs that we get from season 5 to maximize our rewards, because guys, it is just too important it's too hard to miss out on a lot of these really good rewards here that could really help power up your account going into the Champions Duel or your next season, or maybe in some of your fights, right? So let me kind of just start here, and we'll kind of go from here. So first things first, I'm going to kind of show you guys what I would do on a normal air code boss setup here. So again, I'm in season 5, so let's kind of run through it. First things first, you don't need defenders, right? They don't do anything. Again, if you're a missile main, that's different. McGregor does crazy things when he's at exclusive weapon 30, and Adam is a major buff. It really is more of a support character there and buffing your front row. But for your air squad, you do not need defenders at all. Same for your tank squad. So for me, I put all of my attackers in the back. So I've got DVA, Morrison, and Skylar there in the back row. I have my Gorilla on, and then I'm going to add in my supporting heroes. So for me, I'm going to put in Sarah, and then also Marshall. Okay, so this is going to be the air code lineup for pretty much season 4 onward. If you're not in season 4, you might take Sarah out and put in like Kim or whoever, right? There's just another hero there, another attacker. But I honestly can't even remember who I used to use before that. I really don't know. But regardless, this is the air lineup for today. So kind of starting here off, the first things first is you have to prioritize your strongest attackers, right? So once you make the squad change, you now have to go ahead and start swapping all of your gear, right? So for me, as an air hero, as air squad, I'm gonna take all my gear off of Lucius and Murphy. Those were my defenders, and they don't need their gear on anymore because they're not gonna be in this attack. And I'm always gonna put the best gear on DVA, then the next best gear on Morrison, which is already there, and then the next best gear on Skylar. Then you're going to take the next best gear that you have and put it on Sarah, because she actually does a little bit of damage. And then the last, kind of your worst gear per se, on Marshall. Now, the reason why we're using Marshall, and Marshall's in a lot of these code lineups, especially tank and air, is because he boosts your entire squad's attack, right? So for me, I have got him up. I don't have his exclusive all the way up, but for him at 36 here, he's got 17.5% attack, and increases the crit rate by 10% for 8 seconds, which is good. So on and so forth, and then you can use this bottom up skill to help reduce their cooldowns. God, I am stuttering hard. I'm sorry. But then Sarah is vital for after season 4, after she gets to UR, because her bottom left, she's very similar to Mason from the tank squad. Once you max out her bottom left skill, she gets a 25.5% damage increase to monsters in battle, right, for all of the aircraft hero. And of course, I just have her maxed out because she was a staple in season 4. And of course, since Sarah's going to be in the front, that means she's buffing the whole back row. So that means that DVA, Skylar, and Morrison are all getting the buff. Marshall's buffing all of those, right? I have my monkey on. So now this is what my power looked like. So normally I'm almost 74 million or 73 million. But here it's going to be a little bit reduced because exclusive weapons and things like that. But this will still do much more damage than if I just use my regular airline up here. Next, I think something else that's pretty important here is going to be base skins, right? So I know not everybody will have it, but if you have the mushroom base, you have to put it on because you're going to get the increased damage to monsters, and that's obviously important, right? So you get an extra 5%, so why not? Next, if you are in a season where you now have tactics cards, you need to go into your profession hall. You need to make sure that you have on your zombie killer card. For me, I actually have one that is got a +2 tactics card level up, so I'm actually getting a little bit more damage out of this, but I have it leveled all the way up, so it's actually level 9. So during World PvE battles, your squad receives 13.5% bonuses to attack, HP, and defense, which is amazing, right? So even if you're at the end of the season and you haven't leveled this all the way up yet, just destroy some other cards. If the season's over, who cares? And pump them into this to get this thing maxed out here. The rest of the tactics cards really don't matter as much, except for the 4+1. So I have a 4+1 card because now I have 4 air heroes and 1 tank. So I want to continue to have that bonus. So I'm going to get that additional 5% bonus for attack, HP, and defense because I do also have the double tactics card level up again here. But any regular 4+1 card will be great. And then your zombie killer card. Those are the 2 staples for sure if you're having a 4+1 setup while attacking the code boss, which for tank and air, you probably will. After that, what I would also focus on then is profession. Some people are going to always be engineers, understandable. I'm pretty much always a war leader. And if you want your hardest possible hit, you have to be a war leader, right? You get all the extra damage bonuses, you get the extra crit, the increased war fever damage, all of the fun things. I have some videos on profession skills, so on and so forth there. So feel free to kind of review those. But being a war leader is you're always going to hit harder than engineer. Okay, so at the end of the season, it might be worth the swap to see if you can kind of hit those next goals. Okay. After that, you always have to make sure too. Speaking of being a war leader and getting that extra damage, is that you want to scout, right? Scouting gives you, for me, gives you that extra war fever, so where now I'm getting an additional 6% damage and an additional 5% hero attack. That's the war leader buff. I think if you're not a war leader, I think it's only 1%, so not as much. So war leader is definitely the move there. Okay. After that, for me, I always like to save some protectors for the end of the season. I've honestly probably already pretty maxed out all of my code hits for the season so far, but I have some left over. I'm going to do an example here of kind of the difference in using protectors and not using protectors here. But just always make sure you're using protectors. And for me, I really only have enough to do 2 with my T11s because a lot of my other protectors in there are very low level and aren't going to make me probably hit lower. So I have enough for probably 2 hits here. Also, after that, make sure that your squad that you're attacking with is on one of your main squad pads that has your tech maxed out. Okay, so I'm on, of course, I have squad 1 and 4 maxed out already. I have squad 2 maxed out. And then, of course, whatever your main squad is, hopefully you're already working in your mastery. These damage boost inside the mastery trees are really going to help boost up your damage a ton for your for your code boss damage hits, right? After that, we have some of the seasonal stuff here. So stuff that may not be relevant to everybody, but is relevant to me right now. So right now we are in season 5. So we have the Coffee Factory or Caffeine Institute. We got all these different coffees here, right? They all do different things. Well, if you're doing code boss hits, you have to do it with the truffle coffee because it gives you an additional virus resistance, which does not matter, but it also gives you an additional 5% against monsters, damage against monsters. So we're going to go ahead and pop that guy. I think I actually already have it popped. Do I? Yes, I do. Okay, perfect. And then last but not least here, this is something that is great for if you have an active alliance and you have a bunch of people that are war leaders here, is also using the banners. So using these banners and the banners that are upgraded here, you can stack up to 5 of these. So for us, we like to use the banner here, and you can kind of see the red line. And we all kind of take turns into rotating spots here, and just be lenient or be conscious of that. If you're placing one down, just try to get as many people in your alliance inside the square as possible. But if you can stack up to 5 banners, which I won't be able to get for this video here, you get some a nice little damage boost here. Burkati likes to call them little banner parties, so you can hit code boss as hard as they can. Next, if you can see above my base right now, I got 2 little helicopters here in the presidency. So in season 5, you get these once people take the outpost. Once you take the outpost, you get these little outposts here, and then you get these little officials. So for me, I have been assigned on this one here, but you can get the aircraft commander, or tank or missile commander. So it gives you an additional, I think it gives you 10% with the white one from that regular outpost, I think. Let me see here. Yeah, so that regular aircraft commander gives you 10%. And then once you guys in season 5 take the center, whoever is the president of the middle, shout out again Burkati for letting me have the aircraft one from this presidency. He gave me the aircraft colonel, so this gives me an additional 15%. Or you can also get this Supreme Warlord, which gives you another just overall 15%. So kind of going from there, I've stacked all that up. Then I also, my President Grim, shout out to Grim, was able to give me the President buff, which gives you even more damage, right? So I get additional 5% HP attack and defense. So right now at this point, besides me missing 4 banners, this is about as buffed up as I could ever be, okay? So let's see here. Let's do a couple of attacks, and let's see what this would look like right now. So I have my War Fever, I've got my Mushroom base on, my Tactics cards are on, I got my Coffee Drink, I got all my buffs, I got 1 banner down, all my gear is on correctly, I'm a War Leader, I've got my War Fever, and all my gear is correct and my lineup is correct. So let's go attack the code boss and see what I can get. I doubt I'm going to be able to break my highest record here, but let's see. This is what I'm going to do without protectors the first time so you can kind of see the difference. And air is a little bit wonky with Skylar sometimes. So it can be pretty big swings here. So sometimes you might even attack with protectors and it might not even break your record. But sometimes that's why you have to have a lot of those protectors kind of saved up. So I just attacked, and the record here, look, it wasn't actually that great. 29-6, 3-2. So let's just try one more here just for the sake of it. You can sometimes see the variation in an air squad. So let's see here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait 3 seconds. Should be in there now. So that one did. So it's right around 29-7. Not bad. But now, say if we go in here and we attack with protectors, obviously it's going to make my squad much more powerful. And then let's march on. So this one's going to be with protectors. The other ones I was hitting right around 26-7, 26, 6 or 8 or so. So right below 30 Gs. Now with the protectors, let's see how we do. Oh, look at that. Got the new best for the day. So that one actually hit over 800 million higher, which is great. I'll do one more just for the sake of the video. Use my last bit of protectors, RIP. See if I can get any higher here. I've already done this already once, and I barely hit 32 Gs for the milestone there. I burned through a lot of protectors, so my best advice is just don't give up. Keep burning those protectors and just keep hitting the code boss. You can hit it as many times as you want now. Yeah, so that one's not going to be any higher. So still around the 31, but you can see there's almost what, 2 Gs, 2 billion more damage using protectors than not, right? And guys, again, just kind of recapping in here, I would say the worst rewards that you can get from the code bosses is the tank boss, because it gives you like resources and constructions stuff. But for air, you know, if I get to 40 Gs, I get 100 armament cores for your T11s. I get 6 luxury choice chests, which is pretty much 5 level 5 drone components, 300,000 armament materials, 5,000 diamonds. I'll get all these ones right here along the way, a bunch of universal speed ups for the, and then once you get, you know, of course, when you're lower levels, you get some mythic prints. So that's 2 full mythics. You get a bunch of ore, some chip material. When you're in the 5 million, you get some drone parts and some skill chips and all those fun things. So they kind of vary. The missiles gives you like a lot of monkey stuff and, you know, other fun things. So I can't remember what they all are, but you can just check your goals and see kind of where you're at there, and kind of go from there, guys. So hopefully that really helps give you like the understanding of how to attack the code boss, how to properly buff up, and kind of go from there. But if you have any other questions, I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything, because that's very much me. I do that a lot sometimes. I think that is pretty much it. But if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, any other tips, things that you do instead, feel free to drop a comment below. And then other than that, guys, sorry I didn't show the other lineups, but you guys know what they are. Other than that, have a good one, guys. Murph from server 943 out of here. Bye-bye.